So, you want to bowl fast. I mean, really fast. The kind of pace that genuinely hurries a batsman. What's the secret? Well, I'll tell you one thing. The answer isn't always found in the nets. A lot of the time, it's built right here, on the gym floor. Today, we're going to deconstruct the exact blueprint for building a fast bowler's engine.
I mean, think about it. Where does that pace really come from? Your arm? Your shoulder? So many cricketers ask this, and honestly, this is where most get it wrong. They train super hard, but not super smart. You know, they're in the gym hitting the show muscles, biceps, chest, chasing that pump, thinking that's the key. But that's not the real source of power. Not even close. We're about to uncover the actual kinetic chain that generates some serious, terrifying pace.
All right, let's get into it. Section 1. We're talking about the fast bowler's engine. To build real speed, you got to stop thinking about single muscles and start thinking about your body as one big, high-performance machine. And let me tell you, it all starts in a place that most players totally ignore.
And man, this quote from the legendary strength coach Louis Simmons just hits the nail on the head. The key to strength and speed is from the top of the lifting belt down to the bottom of the shorts. Think about that. The power to bowl over 90 miles an hour, it's not born in your shoulder. It's born right there, in your hips, your glutes. That is the powerhouse, the absolute center of your athletic universe.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll cover the foundation, your lower body drive. Then, the transmission, which is all about core rotation. After that, the delivery, or your upper body whip. Then some super important insurance to keep you from getting injured. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your training blueprint.
All right, let's jump right in. Section 2 is all about the foundation, your lower body drive. Because here's the thing, every single explosive movement you can think of, a jump, a punch, and especially a fast delivery, it all starts with your connection to the ground. This is where it all begins.
So what muscles are we talking about here? It's your glutes. Simple as that. Your glutes are, and I'm not kidding, the most powerful muscles in your whole body. So, learning how to fire them up with a proper hip hinge, well, it's not just a nice to have for a fast bowler. It is absolutely 100% non-negotiable.
But here's the deal, and this is so important. You can't just stroll into the gym and start yanking heavy deadlifts off the floor. You got to earn the right to lift heavy, and this progression here shows you exactly how. You start with the basics, mastering mobility with stuff like glute bridges and hinges, then you build strength, and only then do you move on to the really advanced, complex lifts. You have to follow the steps.
Okay, so which deadlift is best? It's all about choosing the right tool for the job, right? For an athlete, look, pure strength is great, but power, that strength you can use quickly, that's the real game changer. And this is exactly why the trap bar is usually a much better choice for cricketers. It's way safer for your lower back and, this is the key, it lets you move the bar faster. Faster bar speed equals more power. It just builds a more explosive engine, period.
All right, Section 3, transmission. We're talking about core rotation. So we've just built up all this massive force in the lower body. But how do we get all that power from your legs up to the ball? Well, you need a world-class transmission. So, how do you do it? How do you turn that leg drive into crazy arm speed? The answer is your core. And listen, this isn't about having a six-pack. We're talking about a strong, stable core that acts like the transmission in a car. It takes all that raw horsepower from your legs and shoots it right up the chain, making it even more powerful on the way.
More specifically, we're talking about torque, rotational strength. Bowling isn't a straight line, is it? No way. It's a violent, twisting, rotational movement. And honestly, the ability to create that torque, that twisting force, that's the missing link for so many bowlers. It's the glue that connects the powerful drive from your legs to that whip-like snap of your arm.
And you don't build this with endless crunches, okay? You build it with movements that teach your body how to work together. Exercises like this landmine punch are just perfect for it. See, you're not just working one muscle. You're teaching your whole body to fire in sequence, from your foot, up through your hip, across your core, and bam, out through your hand. Sound familiar? That's literally the exact same sequence as a fast delivery.
Okay, on to Section 4, the delivery. This is that upper body whip. We've created the force, we've transferred it through the core, now it's time for the grand finale. The final explosive release of all that energy into the ball.
Now, when we talk about the upper body, again, forget about just building beach muscles. This is about balanced, functional strength. You need to hit 4 key movement patterns: pushing and pulling, both up and down and front to back. Your pushing muscles give you that final snap,
But your pulling muscles, your back, they're just as important. They create the tension you need to rotate powerfully, and they also act as the brakes to slow your arm down safely.
And that idea of slowing down brings us to a really critical point. Section 5, insurance. Because let's be real, you can build the most powerful engine in the world, but if it's always in the repair shop, what's the point? This isn't about bowling faster today. It's about being able to bowl fast for years to come. This is your insurance policy.
Think about the forces involved when you bowl. Your arm is accelerating at an insane speed. But here's what people forget. The hardest part for your body isn't speeding the arm up. It's slowing it down after you've let go of the ball. And that job falls to the tiny little muscles in your rotator cuff. They are the brakes on your arm. And if those brakes fail, well, an injury is pretty much guaranteed.
And we can get even more specific here. We're really talking about the posterior cuff. That's the group of muscles on the backside of your shoulder. As coaching manuals point out, these are your first line of defense. Seriously, strengthening these might be one of the single most important things you can do to have a long, injury-free career.
And the best part? The solution is so simple. You don't need to be lifting massive weights here. Your best insurance plan is just a few light, targeted exercises with some resistance bands and maybe some small dumbbells. You just build these into your warm-up routine, and you can basically bulletproof your shoulders against all that stress.
Okay, last section. Let's put this all together. We've talked about the foundation, the transmission, the delivery, and the insurance. Now let's look at the actual blueprint for building this thing in the gym.
And look, this right here simplifies everything. I want you to stop thinking about leg day or chest day. That's not how athletes should train. An elite program is built around movements, not isolated muscles, because sport is movement, right? If you train these 5 basic patterns, hinging, squatting, pushing, pulling, and rotating, you're not just building muscles, you're building an engine where every part works together. And that is how you build real athletic power.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's really a shift in how you think about training. Stop chasing that muscle burn in the gym and start chasing better, more powerful movement. Real pace isn't about your arm, it's a full-body symphony. When you train that entire chain from the ground all the way up, you don't just get stronger, you unlock the fast bowler that's been waiting inside you. So, you've got the blueprint. The only question is, are you ready to build the engine?